siren. Good. So far, so good.
Okay, we're almost ready for you.
You're like
Are you
You want me to
almost
start
ready?
the teacher share though?
You're presenting
Yes.
and presenting.
Who is in charge? So I don't. Yes,
They're
go
trying to
ahead.
straighten out these tags. They got turned upside down.
Have a binder or special books. This is the hardest part.
Let's see. Can we put like that box in there? Is that
The boxes don't seem, they seem to be too big. The boxes have never worked.
Do you have anything, Jen, with you that you can put under that to boost it up?
The binder seems
No, I do not. I probably have a bunch of stuff in my car.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, thanks.
In case we don't know who you are, but you know.
We all do probably.
Oh,
You don't need sound, do you? Or do you want sound? Okay.
actually.
Okay. Do you want to use it from your laptop or do you want to use a speaker?
My laptop's not very loud.
Okay.
What, is this free music back there?
It's free music. It's like this horde of people back there.
Oh,
Concerto music that somebody's giving away
Oh.
because they're leaving. Or
right here? Nice, I gotta look at that too.
Just tell them to toss it down.
Well, I'll just start if you want me to.
Start.
We are gonna start the teacher share. Hi.
Stop on
Let your hair.
music.
So, pay attention to me.
Good luck on that one.
Okay.
Call me in the studio.
All right, who has used Bastion all-in-one?
I didn't even know it existed.
This,
So,
I think,
but not all of them.
yeah, the all-in-one is they're newer, but it's not that new. It's like 10 years old. I'm looking at the. Anyway, it's still Bastion. I mean, it's just.
Bastion was not my favorite.
Bastion's never been my favorite.
Yeah.
I think. How about you guys? Jill, have you used Bastion?
I know if someone is a transfer student and they bring it, I'll say, okay, we'll finish this up.
That's how I do
Picture
too.
them and then we'll decide.
So why don't I like it? What's wrong with it? Because I don't know.
The newer ones, the pictures are good. This is stupid, but the older ones, the pictures are creepy. The kids are like, what the heck?
Well, that makes a difference. But I haven't never been able to put my finger on why I don't like Bastion.
I feel like they don't do a good job of reinforcing new concepts. Feel like they'll do a new concept, do one piece, and then they'll go to another concept and do one
But
piece.
I supplement with a lot of stuff, so I'm not sure that that's.
The way
At
they
least
do the
for me.
multi-key method, it just feels weird. Like they're so set on that. Like it's like, okay, now we're in E major, and it's like, okay, we play everything in E major, and it doesn't feel like they have a good review system,
Oh, I
and so the
see.
kids get really great at like
Were
moving to
they-
different five-finger patterns, but I feel like they get stuck in that.
I
Do
see.
you know what I mean? They don't. That's
Go outside of
they
the
can't go
five.
outside of the five. Well, and then when they try to, it's fine, but it's just, I don't know, it doesn't feel like they, and then the way that they progress, it's like, it doesn't feel logical. Like,
Okay.
it goes too hard, too soon based on the foundation that they get. They don't give the right foundation.
What about the songs? The music?
Boring.
Boring.
Okay, that's kind of what I think too. I think they're boring. They're not engaging, right? Okay, the next one I brought today is the Joy of First Year Piano. I have not used this, but I heard Carmen Hall say in a presentation that she requires all students, including transfer students, to go through this book. So I picked up a copy. It's Dennis Agay, wondering what's so great about it. And I have not had that much time to evaluate it to decide what's so great about it. Do any of you know, like, anything about this and why Carmen would insist that all of her students, because I trust Carmen, like, she's well qualified. No, nothing about this. I mean, if you look through it, it's
Isn't Dennis Agay?
Yeah.
I don't know that. So he's got that one for ragtime, which is good.
yeah,
you know?
he's good.
And I just haven't done this one.
It starts, very basic, and it moves really quickly. So by the end of this book, you can see what kind of music they're doing. It moves pretty quickly. So I'm just curious. I was curious if anyone has tried this, but okay. We don't know much about that
Carmen
one.
must use it as an additional thing, right? I mean, she's not gonna have it be the main course.
I don't, she wasn't clear on that, but even having transfer students go through it, there must be something about it that she really
I
likes.
think there's like a variety of like time periods in it, and then the fact that it does go progressively harder through the whole thing. I think that's the idea, and it like kind of just covers a bunch of stuff. So
Maybe she's wanting to make sure they're not missing any foundational. Maybe. Okay. Has anybody used Wonder Keys?
They're good songs. They don't-
I
they
have
don't look too
And?
bad.
thoughts.
And what? You
I
like?
have thoughts.
You have thoughts. I want to know your thoughts. I used this with.
Lots.
I used the not primer. What is the one before primer? Anyway, I used the really like the preschool one with a student several years ago, and it did not catch
I
anything.
hated it. I bought the preschool one thinking I would love it, and no.
Yeah.
But the Wonder Keys, the one that they have for teens, I tried using that for a couple of boys that I thought really needed something, like it was some intermediate level boy teenage transfer students. It was awful. They almost quit piano.
Really? It was
so
that bad?
So,
This
because
book
people talk
causes
about it.
people to quit.
People talk about it all the time about
I
loving it
know
so
on Facebook
much.
there's so many
Yes, there's
people
so
that
much
love
that
it.
love it, and it's very like the teenage ones. It's very pop style directed, and so I was like, okay, maybe this will be great for them, and maybe I'm just not enough of a pop piano teacher to like
Oh, maybe.
get, but like I will say the pedagogy unit is great. It's great. They move through the circle of fifths. This is for the intermediate level.
Okay.
They move through the circle of fifths. They do all the technique. It's really, really great. But the songs in there, they're awful.
Okay.
They hated them. They hated them. And everyone said that they loved them.
one that like they'll email like a 3-piece like
Yeah.
once a month.
So
and,
this
like,
is
help
Andrea and
them.
Trevor Dow up in Canada that run
And
teach
I always
music.
yes, but the ones in the actual book,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
They just
So
they
I've
didn't-
stopped
maybe it
downloading
was
their
just
free
those
pieces because I
students.
didn't think they were very interesting.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't resonate with those particular students, but I felt
mean,
like that was the target
it's
audience.
Very
So,
colorful
Yeah.
and fun, but I don't know. I just
Anyway,
it didn't catch
those
my
are my
attention.
thoughts.
It doesn't look like they're doing it.
This set is called Piano for Life. This has anybody looked at this? It's out of order. Book one, book two. Yeah, and Gail Kowalczyk and Eli Kester.
She came and did a presentation at the Bountiful Music Store, and I went to it, and I bought it, because I thought this would be good for me, but I haven't.
So this is for recreational piano for adults.
Yeah.
So totally different kind of thing. And I have not used it either, but I bought it because I have a lot of adult students. But I've looked through it, and
But it is melody.
yeah, you can look at them. I think they're pretty good.
Some compositions in there too by her. I
Yeah.
believe. She, I mean, she's just, chords,
2 and 3.
like really cheap,
Scale.
you know, in various iterations and
Yeah,
stuff.
very cute.
Yeah, so she tries to, everything is included in there, right? That,
Yeah.
It's like an all-in-one.
yeah, but it's things like transposition and playing from a lead sheet, like you said, and that kind of stuff. So that if, I have this idea of starting an adult group piano class that's recreational piano, but I just buy stuff for it and never do it. I don't know if I ever will, Shelley.
I have an adult piano class, it's my favorite class.
Is it recreational piano, or do you go through a structured?
It's just a bunch of adult women
Mhm.
that meet during the day. And we have kind of a base of what we did, like we went through basic theory, but now I'm kind of just going off of the game theory,
Okay.
and ear training.
Mhm.
But we do like again a month and a lot of classical type music.
Oh, fun.
It's a lot of fun.
See, it's fun. I should do it.
It is fun, you should do it, that's why I'm telling you.
I have, side note, I have about 7 adult students, and most of them are terrified to play in recitals. So almost 2 weeks ago, we had a performance night. We just gathered and had dinner and visited, and then I invited them to play if they wanted to, because I told them beforehand, just come, no matter what, and it was a really low-key thing. So I didn't print a program or anything, and all but one of them played, and it was really, really fun. So there's different ways of reaching adults, but that's a side note. Okay, the other 2 I had on there, one is RCM. I didn't bring any of my RCM books. Does anybody use that as kind of a method for, so I've started using it for some of my more dedicated students. It doesn't start from the very beginning. It probably they have to be at least halfway through favor level 1 before they can do even the earliest level of RCM, right? But I really like the variety of pieces and that you can jump around in the book. It's not just straight through. And I really like their theory. They have theory and ear training and all the things. So anyway,
That's RCM?
Yeah, I have not. I took the RCM teaching classes, teaching piano, all 3 of them, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I really liked it, but I have not gone as far as putting any of my kids in the RCM exams or anything like that. But I do like their materials a lot. They are a little pricier, but I think they're good. Yeah.
Comment about RCM, if you have like a college-bound student, even if they've done AIM, the RCM theory is so good because it is what they will see.
It is so comprehensive.
It's great. So
it really is.
It's the best. Mm-hmm. It's the best, most comprehensive theory stuff you can get. It is expensive and it is a little more challenging. But
the reason I don't put all of my students in it is because it's not as repetitive as some of the other things, and so unless they're a very devoted student, they could get lost really quick. So because it's not as repetitive. And the last one I put on there was the Carol Matt's interactive piano method, which is online. So I'm gonna it's part of my presentation today, so I'll show a little bit of it to you. But has anyone used that? You have?
A little bit. Yeah.
But I like Carol Matt's stuff that she has, all those famous and fun things.
Yeah.
They're pieces that the kids know and stuff. They seem to really like that, but I decided that the online portion is only going to work if your student has a tablet that's big enough to read it. I mean, that's the main drawback to me, because when you show the pictures and stuff, they need to look at the tablet. So if you just have people that are playing on a little phone, or you expect the parents are supposed to download, when they pay for it, they're supposed to download and print the music themselves as they get the PDF, and I've had no good success over the years with my parents doing stuff like that.
Yeah, no.
So I downloaded and printed my own little book and found it, and that's worked okay. But
So I don't use it as a method, but I will use it when I do make up video lessons. If a student misses a lesson, instead of having them make it up. And I'll use it for that, and I'll do a share screen, and we'll go through, the whole lesson.
yeah.
And I also like the pieces. I'll use those for the students. I think she does some pretty good arrangements. Anyway, so we'll get into that. But any other comments about any of the methods we talked about today? And like always, we just have to remember that it's really about the teacher, right? How we teach more than the method. The method is just our tool, and we're going to focus on tools today. So, okay, I'm done.
Well, temporarily done. All right. So, first of all, do we have anybody who looked over the minutes from last month that can approve those? They were online. Uh-oh. Does anyone want to look right now on the website? No. Maybe we can come back to it. Or we can do it next month.
Can you look at them?
Yeah. Jenny works so hard on these. We're so appreciative. Okay, Cass is going to look at them. And then any announcements from anyone? I think we need to talk about.
Composition competition is open on April 1st. So, enter your students. It's not very expensive. If they don't work on something, it's a good one. You have a month to enter.
Yes, I had a little student who won 3rd place last year, and it was like the highlight of his life. So I don't even do a lot of teaching of composition, but if they write something for AIM or at home, just submit it. It's always nice to have more submissions for that. Any other announcements?
We probably need to talk about the luncheon for May.
Yes. So May luncheon, we will be charging $10, just like we did last year. And I think we'll be collecting money for that next month. Is that right? Okay.
So we could bring a check or cash.
Yeah.
Next month.
Yep. And hopefully everyone got the email that we are here for the rest of this year, and then starting in the fall, we will be at Piano Gallery. So, and if you didn't know, Piano Gallery is opening their recital hall. So, which is so exciting. I'm so glad we'll have another hall. And then, just so you all know, there is going to be a different Steinway store, and they are opening this year in like May or June. They'll be in Holiday. So, yes. Just, yeah.
But it won't be called Danes.
Mm-mm. No, it's not associated with Danes at all. Somebody else got the contract. So, yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Julie.
This is what we heard, we had Federation on Saturday at the Danes, and I don't think it was the Danes people that told us this, but they will have a recital hall, but you only get to use the recital hall teacher if one of your students purchases a Steinway piano in the course of a year.
Yeah,
Now,
so
that's true rumor,
so I would say that's not true. I have talked to the owner. He's actually a cousin of like a very good friend of mine, and that to my knowledge is not true. So that's not true. They are talking about if a student does purchase a piano there, that they will offer you a recital free of charge. Does that make sense? But not you can only schedule a recital there. Yeah, no. That's so somebody's been misinterpreted some sort of something that they heard. So yeah, for sure that's not going. He is the recital hall's upstairs in their space. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. It'll have like a outdoor patio that you can do refreshments on. I think that he is thinking in his head right now that he wants to be able to have community events there and not just music teacher recitals, but they are definitely going to be hosting music teacher recitals and Holiday. It'll be open at Holiday. I have an address. I'll look it up. So yeah. Yeah.
33rd South.
Yeah, somewhere in there. I'll look it up. I have an address, and it has like, it's beautiful. It's all glass and has these amazing. Anyway, it's gonna be really great. But yeah, so that what you heard, I know where the information came from, but it kind of like game of telephone's not quite accurate. So yeah. Right. Yeah. No, that's not true. As far as if he's decided to do that, don't worry. I'll call him and say, "Stop! You're making a bad choice." So I'm happy to do that. All right. Any other announcements? But yeah, we'll be at Piano Gallery because Holiday's a little far. So yeah. Go ahead.
Piano Gallery, you said, is not opening their recital hall for recitals until.
So he told me as of like a couple weeks ago, they were getting carpeted, and they hadn't even ordered chairs yet. But his goal is end of May to open it to the public. So they don't have, and they're planning on having a hall that seats 100. So that'll be nice, a nice big recital hall. And he said, what did he tell me? Oh, he didn't even have pricing set up or figured out yet when I talked to him. But he was like, so I think they're working that out right now. But yeah. I believe his name's Mike. There's only like 2 or 3 people over at that store. If you call and just ask for, yeah. But I think it's Mike over there. So, yeah, yeah. Any other announcements that we need to go over? Okay. All right.
Okay, I get to introduce Catherine.
Because you guys don't know who she is. No, we are so excited. I was looking at our wonderful chapter and I was thinking we have so much knowledge within our chapter that we should take a little bit of advantage of that this year. So we got to have Tiffany a few months ago, and then Catherine this month. So Catherine Barney is a nationally certified teacher of music with over 30 years of experience teaching private and group piano, children's musical theater, and choir. She currently serves as immediate past president of our chapter, and she has held multiple leadership roles in UMTA. Catherine has completed advanced pedagogy courses through the Royal Conservatory of Music and is passionate about nurturing well-rounded musicians. Her lessons integrate theory, sight reading, ear training, technique, music history, composition, and improvisation using creative and engaging methods to help students thrive. And we are so excited to have her today, and her brother she's been able to drag him along as well. We're so glad to have both of them.
I did drag him along. So when Shelley asked me to present, I called Jacob and said, "You should come present with me. That would be fun, wouldn't it?" And he agreed. So he's gonna start. Actually, let me introduce him. This is my brother Jacob Rollins. He is a professor of linguistics at BYU, and he really loves pedagogy.
It's true.
So he's gonna start.
Yeah, and in case you're wondering, some of you pointed out that I'm not wearing green today. This is a nod to history. St. Patrick was actually born in Wales, and for the first several centuries, he was always shown wearing blue robes. And it wasn't until the 20th century, when Ireland was in a conflict with the UK, that they chose green as their color rather than blue. So.
Well, wait a second though.
And
What
also-
he's leaving out is that he has no idea what color his shirt is because he's colorblind.
So the first rule of teaching is justify afterwards. So we're going to start with a quiz, and there's two ways to get on here. You can do this QR code here, or if you go to menti.com, menti.com, and put in the code 7105-2369, we'll do a little survey here. Is everybody able to do that? Everybody on?
What's the word to me say yes passwords? Anybody know?
He had to put it in for me,
Okay.
so you might want to just.
That's
use
okay,
it.
I'll just try to do it off of.
Came up automatically for me.
Then we vote.
Oh, I had a conference.
Oh, no, my phone's not even
I mean,
registering it, so
it's
it's a pain.
It's a little bit blurry. So if you go to menti.com,
Is that what I'm supposed to see? Please
What-
wait for the presenter to change slides. Is that what I'm supposed to be having?
yes. So
Wow.
we're waiting for your answers are popping up here on
Did
this
you put an
screen.
answer up?
I did.
You did? Good for you. No, I just meant because that's not what mine says, and so I was just curious if we were up to.
Did you put an answer
I
up?
didn't mean anything.
Okay.
We have to talk because this is very, very important.
Yes, yes, fine.
So our first question here is, what do you like about teaching with technology? And we're getting some fun things here, make things easier, help with studio management, you can teach online, listening to the recordings adds interest, nothing. It's fun, it has interest in lessons, I hate technology, and students love it.
Is there a way to focus that more? We're just not seeing technology.
Is there a way to, if you go to menti.com, do you just enter that code?
Yes, 7105-2369. Is anybody not connected? We have just a couple more questions. And don't worry, you'll get to express your hatred later, if you would like to.
Give you an opportunity.
Okay, so here's some things you're going to rate. Technology can help my students, and there's 3 things, and you rate them from 1 to 5, where you strongly disagree or strongly agree. Practice more effectively is the top. Learn faster is in the middle, and be more engaged in lessons is at the bottom. 7105-2369.
So you really want us to answer this right?
I do. I really want your real answers. It's interesting.
What part of it? The answers or
Okay.
graphics?
The graphics are interesting. But just so you can read these graphics, this is the average where we're ending up. But these slopes show you where people are answering. So practice more effectively. There's a few of you who are on this side, and some who are on this side. We end up in the middle. Some like 3.4. Learn faster, more who are to this side. be more engaged in lessons, there's a higher curve over there. Okay? What about technology helping you? So the three options here: that can manage your studio more effectively, improve your teaching, and meet individual student needs. Well, somebody's excited. I'm noticing a trend here. I think we're going to end up almost the same on this slide as we did on the last one. It's trending. It's above 3, so it's above the middle. But yeah, about 3.8. Interesting. Okay. I think we just have a couple more. What obstacles keep you from using technology? This is a short answer, although you can go long answer if you have a lot to say. Just keep the words like PG-13. More answers we're waiting for. And then the fun thing is, after this, after everybody enters your answers, you're going to get to vote for your favorite answer. On what's the best obstacle? Just waiting for a couple more people. Okay, so this is your responses. Group, lack of knowledge, 4 of you talked about that. Time commitment, there were 3 responses. Cost, 2 of you said it was expensive, and then there was two of you who talked about fear as well. Okay, now you get a chance to vote. Look at other people's answers and vote for the one that you like the best or that you agree with the most.
Just one?
I think it just lets you vote for one. So it's a big decision. So exciting. It's like election night. You're sitting there watching the TV. Who's going to win? Okay, I need 2 more votes. Come on, let's get it. We can do this. All right, let's see what our favorite thing was. 4 of you voted for that. Okay, finally, this is a short answer. Real quick, what has technology helped one of your students? So end on a positive note here. Unless you write never. Yes?
So, we're not supposed to ask you, just, sorry. Stick to your phone. We're gonna spend the day more time.
So there's some great things being shared here, and I'm distracting half of you from writing your response, but I'm just going to start sharing some of them. Improving note reading, learn to sight read faster, aim prep with peer training, learn pop piece, flashcard games, listening to great recordings, sharing sheet music, editing fingering from a distance. It helped my students to be more self-directed in learning and accomplishing tasks. Sight read website, videoing, and reviewing performances, videos of places they were playing or of material related to what we were discussing have been helpful. Note identification, scale identification by sound. He listed recordings that helped his interpretation and helped him believe that I wasn't the only one to see these ideas. Yeah, that helps the teacher as well. Thank you for participating in this little exercise. You can actually, now that we're finished with the presentation, you can download the results on your phone and you can, you know, put them in your journal or whatever you feel like doing. This is interesting. So I have talked with many different groups about using technology with teaching. The results are often very similar to what you have here, where you have people who are really excited about it, you have people who absolutely hate it, people who don't understand it, people who say it's too expensive. You have people who are cheerleaders and people who are naysayers. If you go to, I went to some of the apps that Catherine's going to talk to today. I went to their websites and pulled some quotes from them. It's the perfect technology for a practicing musician. This app has transformed my studio. I can't imagine teaching without these tools. And of course, this is marketing copy, of course. You know, they're saying they're picking the best comments that people have to say about their apps. And they're saying one of the apps actually on their website, the big thing that it says is one app to rule them all. Which, you know, okay, my daughter calls me a nerd all the time. She points at me and says, "You're a nerd." And it didn't work out for other things that tried to rule them all, if you read the books or watch the movies. But then there's the other side. Okay, I'm going to show you this quote here. Your invention will enable them to hear many things without being properly taught, and they will imagine that they have come to know much, while for the most part they will know nothing. And they will be difficult to get along with, since they will merely appear to be wise instead of really being so. Who do you imagine when you hear this? Maybe yourself and your well, let me show you who said this. This is our friend Socrates, around 418 BC, and this is on his deathbed where he's about to take poison, but he's still chewing people out, right? This is absolutely true. What technology was he complaining about here? He's complaining about writing. He said writing is going to ruin people's brains. It takes away from the time we have to teach them real knowledge. And they'll think they know because they have these things written down in books. The point is that no matter what new is introduced, there are people who hate it, people who love it, and then there's the rest of us that are in between saying, well, how can I use it? And so what Catherine and I are talking about today is how to put pedagogy first and how to use the tools that we have, the technology tools that we have, to improve the way we teach, to improve the results for our students. But no matter what tools you explore, what tools you choose, the thing to remember, and we're going to emphasize this again at the end of the presentation, is that always pedagogy comes first. We are not teaching students so that they learn how to use the iPad better. We're teaching them so that they're able to play what they want to play, so that they're able to achieve their goals of understanding and learning an instrument, learning music. So, Catherine.
All right, when I went to bed last night and looked at the slides, Jacob hadn't done any yet, and so this is all a surprise to me. All right, so we are going to talk about teaching and learning tools that actually work. And this tip is important to remember. I think when we choose tools, we want to focus on easy-to-use, practical tools that we can incorporate without feeling overwhelmed, right? Some of you wrote that on the survey that you don't have time. We don't have time to learn something new, right? So we want to do something that's easy to learn. So we're going to start by talking about student-facing tools. So these are tools that the student will use to improve their experience in piano lessons. And there are three types of student-facing tools that we're going to talk about: practice support tools, feedback and communication, and learning tools. And I really want your feedback on this because I don't know all the tools. And surely you have come across some that I'm not using. So with each tool that we look at, we're going to ask ourselves, what problem does it solve? How can I actually use it? And what is one tool I can try this week? So our goal is everybody's going to go home with one tool that you're going to try and use this week, okay? All right, so starting with practice support. These are 5 that I came up with really fast. I personally use Practice Space. Modacity I downloaded once, but I just did the free version and haven't really used it. It's more of, okay, so practice support, or Practice Space is connected to the teacher. The next 3, Modacity, iReal Pro, and Better Practice app, are more just for a musician to use on their own to practice, so I'm not sure how helpful they are for children. I don't know them that well. Vivid Practice is another that's connected to the teacher. Are any of you familiar with Nicola Canton that does, yeah, what is her website called? Why am I not thinking of it?
Colorful Peace.
Yeah, Colorful Peace.
Spelled the English way.
Because she's Irish, she lives in Ireland. Anyway, Vivid Practice is her app. Now, I used to use Tonara, and was it 2 or 3 years ago, we got the message saying that Tonara was shutting down in a month. And there was a lot of panic on Facebook groups. What are we going to use for our practice apps? And so there were a lot of new practice apps popping up, or some that had been around saying, oh, we can help you. And at the time, I decided to do free trials of several to see which app I wanted to switch to. And I couldn't decide. They all looked good, but for different reasons. So I sent, I added as a student my adult son, who is not a musician at all. And so he's my stepson, otherwise he would be. Let me clarify that. I didn't raise him, so he doesn't know music. Anyway, and I asked him to just, as a non-musician, choose which, as a student, which of these apps he liked the best. And he chose Practice Space. He said it was the most intuitive and easiest to use. So that's the one I went with. Now, Vivid Practice, I know uses interleaved practicing. That's worked right into it. So if you know anything about interleaved learning, she incorporates that in how the students practice at home. And it was brand new at the time, and it's had a couple years to update and whatever. So it might be really well. Really, it might have come along well. I am going to click over I'm just going to show you, I'm not trying to sell Practice Space or any of these apps. I just want to show you briefly some of the apps that I like so you can see what they do. Did you have a question before I did?
Yes, is your basic presentation going to be available to just?
Yeah, we're gonna share the slides, so you don't need to worry about taking detailed notes. In fact, any comments that you make, we are gonna take notes on that and add them to the slides so that we can, you don't have to worry about that. Okay.
You've signed up for Practice Space. Now this video will take you through the next steps. If you ever get lost, you can always click the Help button in the bottom right of the screen. To get familiar with Practice Space, start out by creating a lesson for your sample student by going to My Students and selecting Sample Student. Click New Lesson in the top right corner and select Create from Scratch. Here you can add general notes about what they should practice that doesn't necessarily relate to any specific assignment. Then you can start adding this assignment to the lesson. Here, add the title of what they're working on, along with some more detailed notes. You can also choose to assign a tag to this assignment so that you can easily find it later. Practice adding file attachments to assignments by clicking Attach File. You can upload images, videos, PDFs, audio files, or links. You can also record a video or audio file from your device, then and there, and attach it to the assignment. If you'd like to use the same attachments for other students or for later lessons, don't forget to save it to your teacher library. Then click Create and Add. Here's also where you can set your students' target practice duration. Once everything looks good, click Publish. Now let's check out what that assignment will look like for your student. Go to the Practice Space homepage and press Login. Click Students and use the same login information you used to sign into the teacher site of Practice Space. You're seeing what your students will see when they first log into Practice Space. When they start a practice by clicking the button at the top right corner of the screen, they'll see the assignments you've added for them along with the attachments you've uploaded. As they practice, they can mark these assignments as complete. They can also record and upload practice videos and view them in the Activity tab. You'll get notifications when they upload videos and they'll show up in the feed shown on your dashboard. Happy teaching!
Okay, so I'll tell you what I love about using practice apps. See? I was telling me it gets stuck every time I play a video. So I started using, before apps even existed, I typed their assignment into the computer rather than handwriting it, because I could save it. If they messaged me, if they lost their assignment or whatever, I knew what they had practiced, if they forgot to bring it, that kind of thing. Then the apps I have loved because of that upload files things, because I make a lot of videos to explain to my students how to do things. I have PDF files, I have audio files, like me playing with the metronome and counting, because they have such a hard time doing all those things at once, and then they can just play along with my recording. Just all those types of things, and I can save them. They're always there, so when the next student has the same assignment, it's there, and I don't have to redo it. So I love that. I love that they don't have to worry about bringing a notebook. Practice Space I like because it is not solely an app. You can use it you can use it web-based, you can use it on any device. So I like that. I don't know about Vivid Practice, and I know there's other practice apps too. So if you're looking at practice apps, definitely look around. Don't just go off of one because there might be another one that you like better. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you type out notes while they're having the lesson on your computer?
But because I've got most of my assignments saved, I can quickly just put in, minor or whatever, and it comes up, and yes. And I do it while I'm talking to them, right? So it's pretty fast once you're used to it. Yes?
So I do practice charts for all of my group classes. Could I upload them, and can they individually mark each day that they practice?
So they do mark each day that they practice. And so thank you for reminding me to talk about that. They press the play button. It's really based on the honor system, right? Because it doesn't record them. But then they press stop when they're done practicing. It counts the minutes they practiced. Then every assignment they check off as they do it, and they get gems for all of those things. Then there's a store that they can buy things from, which some students really love, some don't care. There's also a leaderboard that updates every week, and again, some students love that and always want to be at the top of the leaderboard. Some students don't care, and so yes, I do a lot of prizes through it.
Do you get incentives for whoever's the leader?
Okay, there's built-in incentives. If you have the first, second, or third place, you get lots of extra gems. And I try and add things to my store that they are interested in. But the thing I do that has really been popular, okay, I got a new chair for my studio that's kind of soft and cushy and comfy. And when we have master class, everybody wants the chair. So the person who gets it is whoever's highest on the leaderboard. So there's things like that you can do, right? So that is, what have you used as far as practice apps or ways to improve practice? Maybe for yourself, not for your students. Anything?
So I have a question first. What about students, so I have some students that don't have a phone or
Right.
things like that.
That's a really good question. So I always mention to parents when they're signing up, this is how we do practice. Let me know if that's going to be a problem. Never has been yet. They'll use their mom's phone or their dad's. Or there's most families, even if the kid doesn't have a phone, have a kid-friendly tablet or a laptop from school because it can be used on any device. So yeah, it hasn't been a problem. Occasionally, like yesterday, a student came and said, I practiced today for 25 minutes, but the iPad died, so it didn't record it. And as a teacher, I trust the student. I don't trust all my students, but I can go in and add a practice because it didn't work for her. So yeah.
What's the cost for?
So I pay for more than one teacher because I have a teacher that works for me, and I think I pay $19 a month. But the other thing I love about it is the communication, because they can message me during the week, and I really encourage them to. Any questions you have or anything, and they can send me an audio recording, like if they're a little person that isn't really adept at typing out a message. They can send an audio or video recording asking me a question about their assignment. So that's really, and that brings us to our next one, which is feedback and communication. So we were joking about this. You guys, you use phones, you're already using technology, right? So even if you say you hate technology, it's just the new stuff. Once you get used to it, we're all using technology, right? And so how do you use technology to improve feedback and communication with your students? Besides phones. Anybody have anything that they use? So here's some ideas. I mean, we text. We do the messaging on the app, right? I encourage them to send me video snippets. There's lots of ways to do that, but obviously, if you're using a practice app, you can do it right on there. But you could use Google Drive. You can have them upload to YouTube. There's so many ways to share video snippets or annotated recordings. Another option, if they miss a lesson, rather than me doing a makeup video, is they can send me video of them doing their assignment pieces, and then I'll send back a video of telling them what to improve on or introducing or whatever. So those kinds of things. Any other ideas about how to use technology for? Yes.
Well, a really simple thing you can do is make a recording. I mean, most phones will have a button that records it's called a voice memo, and you can make a little recording and you can text it to somebody, which I have done for my students sometimes if I know that they're having trouble. I just make a recording of that. They don't have to look at it, but they can listen to it, and it doesn't take too long.
It doesn't take long at all, and sometimes I'll do that right in their lesson. If their parent is there, or if they're a teenage student that has their own phone, I'll have them put it on their phone. Just say, hit record, and I'll play it for you, right? I love that. Any other ideas?
I just have a question. How many of you send emails and parents?
Yeah, I still send a monthly newsletter, but I've given up communicating through email.
They seem to respond faster to texting.
They don't even look at their emails.
That's what
Most
I
of
think
them.
too.
Oh, I have a couple of very diligent parents.
There's-
They do look at those emails, and they call back and call me back when I make a mistake.
There are a handful, but I would say probably less than 25% of my studio.
That's true.
Yeah.
I will say, just as a parent who has kids and all the things, it's just overwhelming.
Yeah.
And if you have kids, like, you get so much communication from so many people, from so many apps or emails or whatever. Texting, if somebody texts me, then I'll respond to it automatically. But any other form of communication, it can just be like, there's so much to sort through that you miss things. You don't even intend to.
So,
School
this-
uses email. I get an email from each teacher for each class in high school. That's
Exactly.
such a big overload.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk more about email a little later when we do teacher-facing tools, but let's move on to learning tools, and we'll start with ear training. So what is the app that you use, Brian? I always forget, or the website.
It's a writing software, and you've got two things, Musician and Aurelia.
Aurelia is
Oh,
great.
Aurelia, a musician.
Aurelia is phenomenal.
It's so good.
Ear training.
How do
It's
you
also
spell that?
difficult.
AUR something.
Spell Aurelia.
It's something like that.
Uralia.
Yeah,
Okay,
that.
I just wanna make sure it's spelling it right.
For me, those things prevent me from having to do drills in the lesson.
Do they actually do them at home though? Because that's something that I find.
Yeah, I can print out, I give them an assignment and I print out a chart. And because I'm OCD, I used the finger series, I went through every level, every unit, and recorded what they were learning in that unit, and I have levels and units that I've made syllabi on musician and neurology. If they allow me to share it,
Did you write
I would
that
be
down?
more than happy to share with any UMTA member.
Okay.
I want some clever person to make an Aurelia for AIM ear training. I feel like that
For
needs
what?
to happen.
AIM
AIM
ear
ear
training.
training. Like make
So-
it.
AIM ear
Yeah.
training?
Yeah.
Well, that would be
because-
my next step, but
Yeah.
I'm 64 and getting tired.
I know, like somebody
You're
needs to
only
do
now
that.
getting tired, Brian. I'm already
No,
tired.
no, I've been tired for a long time, and I'm tireder. But that's one thing that has made me hesitate on AIM is because I feel like I need a structured thing in that system.
And they have links now on the AIM website for Tenuto.
Tenuto has some good ones, but they don't
But they don't
have
have the
everything.
rhythmic dictation or the
I don't
melodic
know why I didn't
dictation,
put
but
Tenuto on
Aurelia
there.
does.
That's a good. What do you use for your training?
Aurelia is
What
originally
do you
done
use for your training?
for colleges.
Yeah.
However,
But actually Berkeley has their own ear training books and resources that we use.
My nephew Boyce is a student right now at Berkeley out in Boston, so I was asking him what he uses for your training.
Rising software was originally designed for colleges in South Australia, but they have expanded it to be all the way down to beginning level, and that's what is so fascinating to me, and they keep expanding.
So I didn't add RCN. They have online ear training practices that are really good, and also Tenuto has some really good stuff. Has anybody used Earmaster or Perfect Ear? I haven't either. I use Meludia, and I'm going to show you really quickly what it looks like. So this is actually a French company, I think, and they have two divisions. One is music and one is hearing. But I also love Meludia. I love how colorful the graphics are. I love that it's got all these different levels, clear up to expert, which is really challenging. The kids love this. You can use it on an iPad, or this is obviously web-based. This is the very first beginning level. I'm just going to show you kind of what it looks like. So they have to say if they're hearing one note or many notes. And then you just play it and choose the right answer and move on to the next. Anyway, and then you can go back to the menu. This has so many. I mean,
Is
8.
it customizable at all, or do you just have to
No.
follow their? Okay.
No, but I let the students kind of choose because we don't use it in a structured way. We just kind of use it as a game. And so, I'll let them choose which level and then which module within that level they want to do. So that's kind of fun.
Does this come as an app, did you say?
It does come as an app, but there's not as much on the app.
Okay.
That's what I was just gonna say, I've had my students download the app, and the only problem with the app is
It's just really basic.
it's very basic and it's hard for them to get to higher levels, to unlock higher levels, and usually when you reach a certain point, it just stops you and you have to pay more in order to unlock more levels.
So I only pay about $19 a year for my access to this because they give a teacher discount. And I have talked on the phone with the people who run the app or the website many times because they're always reaching out to teachers to get feedback as they do stuff. Anyway, so any other ear training? Yes.
Rosemary Olson talks about arpeggio.
Arpeggio, thank you for reminding me of that one. That's a good one.
Does anyone use Sprout?
Oh, I'm going to get to that. I've never used it for ear training, but
They
it's not
have some ear training activities on there as well. How does this compare to Sprout cost? Because it does have some ear training games.
Meludia is only $19 a year, and Sprout Beat definitely is more than that.
And Catherine, is that just for one user or for all your students?
So it's just the last time I talked to them, they said I could add my students, but I don't think I can. But at that cost, and my students don't practice stuff at home, so I don't pay, even when I use Sprout Beat, I don't pay for student accounts because I have in the past and they don't do it at home and it's not worth it. So we just use it in lessons. So you'd have to, the one thing about Meludia is they are making more money on the hearings, that's for like audiologists and stuff, and so they're spending more time on that than on the music, and so they've kind of moved away. But anyway, okay, let's move on to sight reading. The time is flying. Okay. Sightreading.help. I don't know if you saw, this is the new random generator that USU put together, Kevin Olson and I can't remember. And you can just put in an AIM level and it will randomly generate a piece that's got all the elements that they're expected to know on that level of AIM. It's fun, it's great. I did randomly generate a level 5 or 6 the other day for one of my students, and it was so not musical. But it was great for sight reading, right? So Rhythm Cat is just for rhythm, and that's just a fun app game. It's just a game. NoteQuest I love, and I'm going to show it to you in a minute. Piano Maestro, I still use Piano Maestro, but only for a game when we have a few minutes. Has anybody used Piano Maestro? So it's kind of like, what's it called? Guitar Hero, where the music shows up on the screen and you have to play it. But it hears the piano, and so it gives them a score. It's really good for making them keep on beat and not fall apart if they miss a note. They have to keep going because the music's still going, right? It's fun. That's a fun app. And then Piano Marble, I know Wendy uses that. And is there anyone else in here that uses Piano Marble? Piano Marble's got a lot to it. And Sight Reading Factory I've looked at. I think it's really good, but I want to show you NoteQuest. So NoteQuest is it's not sight reading, it's note reading. But I like it because they're playing, it's one thing to be able to say the letter names of the notes, right? But to translate that into where it is on the keyboard is a whole different story. And so this one I love because, again, it hears the piano. You can just put it up there. It goes from note to note, and they're just playing it on the piano, and it times you to see how many you get before you go to the next level. I also love it because you can do it in intervals. This video goes really fast, so you'll have to tell me if you have any questions. And then you move into the other notes, and there's accidentals, but then there's a level that's intervals. So you have 2 notes that are separate apart, 2 notes that are a third apart, that they have to play both of them. So I like that about it.
Is that kind of like No Rush a little bit?
Kind of, yeah. Okay, so for theory, we already talked about all of these because musictheory.net is Tenuto. Tenuto is the app version of it. Musictheory.net is really cool because you can customize it to what you want to do, and it's got note reading and scales and chords and all sorts of things on it. And then there's Sprout Beat. So who uses Sprout Beat? Just Wendy? And I don't pay for my students to have their own accounts at home because they never did them, and so I use it for, again, just games if we've got a few minutes at the end of a lesson, or there's a lot of worksheets in here that you can print off, so yeah.
If you have a teacher account and you put all your students on it, it might only be around $3 a month per student. And so with the way I do Piano Marble and Sprout Beat is I wrap it into a monthly fee that's incorporated into their tuition.
That works, but again, they weren't doing it, so.
Oh, I just do it in my studio. So.
I like this because you can look at categories, choose, okay, we really need to work on accidentals. You can see all of those things. I like it because it's aligned with several different methods. And so, for example, I have this little student in Piano Adventures Primer, and I can look at what unit, we just started unit 6 yesterday, and then these are all aligned with that unit. There's worksheets and games that you can play. Or you can look at curricula and look at that. They have ABRSM, RCM, and they have AIM. So if you have a student on AIM level 3, and you want to focus on theory, you can do ear training too, but then across the top here they have different themes. You could say, oh, let's really work on primary trads today. So it's pretty great.
Just,
And
yeah. Just be aware that the aim is old.
Oh, is it that
I was gonna say, it hasn't.
She didn't have.
I don't usually use it that way, and so I didn't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
But you just want to check what's on there, what you need with the current.
So I will usually use these on the iPad. I usually turn off the timer because it stresses students out. And then this one, analyze the rhythm and identify the time signature. So then it takes you to the next one. Anyway, they're just games. So that's kind of fun. Okay. Any other theory? No, I'm just trying to hurry so we can get to the other stuff. Okay, so listening. If you're using any of these websites to help your students listen to music and learn how it should sound, then you're already using technology, right? So any other apps or websites that you use to help students listen? CDs. Who has a CD player? I don't.
I do.
All right, and then digital sheet music. I've been using SuperScore for a long time, but I just switched over to FoursScore and it's way better. What else?
FoursScore is the best.
It's way better. I just need to pay for the upgrade so I can wink at it, because I haven't done that yet. Anybody else what do you use to play digital sheet music? FoursScore. FoursScore is the way to go. All right, so teacher-facing tools and studio management. We have scheduling and billing automation, communication systems, progress tracking, and then of course we want to reduce our decision fatigue. And I know I'm throwing a lot of things at you, so you're probably feeling decision fatigue just thinking about it. So I started searching for studio management software for music teachers. I can't believe how much there is out there. I only put a few of them on here. The Opus one at the top looks amazing, but it's very pricey. My music staff I use and have used, and I know other people do as well. I also use Fonz, and I'm going to show you that really quick. But even if you don't use any of these apps, if you're using Google Drive, or if you're using Sign Up Genius for students to sign up for like a summer camp or something, if you're using Stripe or PayPal or Venmo to collect payments, you're using technology for your studio management. Let's look at Fonz really quickly. This is just an idea of what you
Fonz offers a better way to run your teaching studio. Automated payments, streamlined scheduling, and clear communication means no more invoicing, always being paid on time, professional client relationships, and a happier you. Payments are automated in 3 ways: per appointment billing, flat rate subscriptions, and prepaid packages of lessons. Clients securely add a payment method, agree to your cancellation policy, and enjoy a simple, clear relationship so you can focus on what matters most: teaching. Fill your schedule with lessons, group classes, and workshops. Allow students to book or pay through your public booking link, and even help new students find you through your SEO-optimized Fonz Marketplace profile. If you're ready to earn more money, spend more time teaching and practicing, and enjoy your great work more, sign up for Fonz today or book a demo. You and your students will be glad you did.
Okay, so again, I'm not trying to sell Fonz. There's lots of great apps out there, but I love the automated billing, so I don't have to collect money at all. Just on the first of every month, everyone's automatically charged. And they know that when they sign up with me, so it's, they are prepared for that. I don't have to worry about people wanting to change lessons, because if they do, they just go in, cancel their lesson, and find another time if they can. I have a really full schedule, so that's why I offer the makeups, the videos and things. I love that they get reminders for their lessons, so that if they forget, it's not my fault. Anyway, I just really like to I use My Music staff to track my expenses and my mileage because I like the way they do it better, so I use both. But it makes taxes really easy because I just print my report for the year and I'm ready to go. So any other studio management that you've used that, and again, if you're using Google Sheets, it's technology. So don't feel like you're less than because anything you're using that helps.
So this is I use My Music staff and I really like it. I just loved it for taxes, you know, and you can take a picture of a receipt and just put the category and it just does it all for you especially if you do it throughout the year. I did my pictures of my receipts at the very end of the year, which was so easy, but now I'm gonna do it throughout. There's one called Duet.
Oh, that's right.
And it was created by someone like in the Salt Lake Valley. I can't remember her name, but I heard that it's really good. So I don't know.
So that's another one to look at. So taking pictures of receipts. So I do most of my shopping online. But even if you go to a store, usually now they'll ask you, do you want us to email the receipt or do you want to print it? I always say email. And then I've got the email, I don't have to print it and take a picture, I can just download it and then upload it again to My Music staff. But I love that because it's automatic. It reads it. It's got AI that reads it and puts it all in. And then of course there might be some corrections you need to make. Maybe they put it in the wrong category or whatever, but it's great. Okay, mail systems. So we talked about email, and yes, I use MailChimp. I have used Constant Contact, but like I said, there's just that handful of people that read emails anymore. And so I don't use it as much as I used to. Does anybody use GroupMe for studio announcements?
I do. Like, I'll send a GroupMe after I've sent an email and say, check your email, and I don't know.
So,
and sometimes I send a group text too after the GroupMe.
The problem I have with group texts is that nobody stops talking. Yes, I'm looking at you, Jacob. We have a family group chat, and I can tell when Jacob's not in a class because it's ding, ding, ding.
I'm very funny.
He is very funny. He's always making us laugh. But even like GroupMe for our neighborhood, people respond to it with things that we don't all need to know. You know what I mean? And so I hesitate to do group text for that reason. Of course, there's always phone calls, and then the practice app messaging I use a lot for communication. Any other ideas on communication?
Well, I just have a limited number of moms, even though, however many students I have. So I make the same text, I send the same text, change the name, because I don't want everybody to hear everybody else's answers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Kind of dumb, but it is technology.
I know, right? Progress tracking. So some ways that if you're using AIM, that's a great way to track progress because if they're passing off the levels each year, you can see what they're doing. Same with RCM. I don't know if you know that Piano Adventures has introduced exams. I haven't used them, but that's another way. Any kind of exam or evaluation can help you to progress track. Again, Google Sheets, if you want to track what they're passing off, or just print like tracking charts. And then, of course, practice apps. You can track them on there. What do you use?
Oh, sorry. This is going back to the emails thing. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
that's why I was thinking about this. So I was just thinking about how my daughter's music school communicates with us, and they've always done it the same way, which is super helpful. But the person who's in charge of the email list, she puts emoji, emoji, bold, emoji, emoji, week, whatever, newsletter, and for whatever reason, emoji, emoji, bold, emoji, emoji, it shows up, and you see it in your email, and you pay attention to it. So just in case
use more emojis.
Yeah, but having them in the subject line, I never miss it. Okay. I'll get I always know, and it's always the same emojis, and so I just always know. Oh, that's an email that I'm going to want to look at. It doesn't get lost with everything else. So just an idea, a thought. Like she puts music notes and then bold and then music notes. So.
Okay, so we are almost out of time, so I'm just going to talk about this really fast. So online methods and sheet music. I mentioned Carol Matt's piano before. I was going to show it to you, but let's skip that. You can look at it yourselves. Piano Tunes is this composer in the UK that just composes music and puts it up for free. And I've used so many of his pieces, and they're great, and they're all different levels. really fun. Freepianomethod.com is really dated, but it's a complete piano method that's been made free since the composer or the creator died. And I use it for supplementary music. I don't use it as a method. And then of course there's music notes and sheet music directs and all of those things that you can get music from. Remember, we're gonna send out these slides, so don't worry about trying to get them all down.
This is back to your previous slide about progress tracking.
Yeah.
I don't know, have any of you heard of ABRSM?
Oh yes, I meant to put that on there too.
Okay. They're having, on April 18th at Danes at 10 o'clock, they're having an introductory meeting for parents or students or anybody who's interested in it.
April what?
18th,
Okay.
Saturday at Danes at 10 o'clock. And they're doing their testing, their examining on Friday the 17th.
Okay.
Anyway,
that's good to know.
it's interesting.
I might ask you more about that later because I've been curious about ABRSM. All right, so we want to reduce your decision fatigue. So these are the questions you're going to ask yourself. What skills matter most in your studio? Or what skills need the most work right now? And maybe that's the kind of app or website you look for. What experiences do I want students to have? And what technology genuinely improves learning? Okay, so cognitive load, burnout, systemization.
Okay, so we have presented a ton of stuff today. Well, Catherine's presented a ton of stuff. I have also talked. It feels like a lot, and this is true of any place that you teach. There's always new things that you can learn. There's new things you can adopt, new methods, new books that you can read, that you can learn from, and it can become overwhelming really fast. You have to make sure that you're managing yourself as well as managing your students. So as you're incorporating new things, we don't want you to feel pressure to adopt everything right away. Because what that can lead to, and this is a real diagnosable disease, which is burnout. One of my friends, Rebecca Pope-Rourke, she's on faculty back east. She was a go-getter for a lot of years and then crashed. She was one who adopted every new thing, was at the top of every conference, top of everything. And she crashed and went into a year-long break from academia. And during that time, she went through therapy and wrote a book about managing burnout. And one of her key insights that she shared is here, and I think this is where we want to close today, is the hope is that you can manage what you have, achieve some sort of balance in your life, and think about what is actually important. Because when you get to the point where everything is important, nothing is important. Knowing who you are, your worth, what you value, and what's important can help you make decisions about your own health, how you do your work, where you do your work, and what you actually do. And this is key, that with all the stuff that's available out there to you, make sure that you're using it as tools to improve your life and to improve things for your students, rather than just feeling the pressure to adopt it because it's new and fancy. And so our closing kind of things is find balance. Remember that we want to focus on tradition, artistry, and managing our screen time. Our goal always is to get them back into the music. We want to make sure that our lessons don't get taken over by technology, that the technology is there as a tool to get them into the music. So we want to set healthy boundaries for screen time and manage that with practicing. And then do that yourself with how you use technology and how you model it for your students. So, things to remember over here. Pedagogy needs to drive what technology you use. The technology should always, always lead back to the instrument. You want to make technology help you be more human, not less human. And then finally, at performances, at recitals, that technology should disappear. The technology is a tool to get them to that performance, not the focus of the performance. And so I think that's all we have, right?
I think
so. Oh, there are some practical takeaways. We talked about those.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. That's the end.
Take a bow.
Wait, it's my turn. Thank you guys so much for the presentation. I'm gonna ask, like, when we're done, if I could just take a picture of the two. So, because you were never up there at the same time. And then we have food in the back. Feel free to get food and socialize. And, yeah. Okay.
That was awesome, Catherine.
Thank you.